Hi, I'm Brandon Monson and doing this logic model here on strengthening 4-H club leadership for my discussion today. I do work and am very aware with the 4-H programs. I don't work in 4-H, but I work with people that are in 4-H, and I thought it was kind of close to the ambassador programs because I am studying that which is our leadership for the college. So I thought that they had a good parallel, and that's why I chose this logic model. Looking at the logic model, this is by Jessica Jens, who's a 4-H youth development agent in Wisconsin at the University of Wisconsin. I think she did a pretty good job here on this logic model. I did notice in the situation, she said that the 2005 assessment of the 17 Sauk County clubs revealed tops areas, so there's a typo there, top areas for improving 4-H club vitality. I think the recruitment for more members and better organization and club management, those are kind of her goals. She did a good job of spelling that out. Her inputs were great. There's several on there. And then the activities were broken down nicely. I thought this was kind of a nice logic model to look at because it gave in all the activities are all separate boxes of what the activities were and then who was involved in those. Club volunteer leaders she has in the first box and club projects, and she's looped these two together with kind of a bracket between the two, which I thought was nice. The arrows are very clear and show the direction of the flow here for what activities are involved in and who's involved in those activities. So again, really like that. Youth officer meetings, and then she has officer training, youth leadership, educational programs, and that goes in the club office box, and that's kind of looped in with the 4-H community club memberships. She has the club assessment, club focused educational programs, and importance of adult involvement brochure. So those are the things that they do and who's involved in those things. And then she did a nice job highlighting her outcomes. She had short-term, medium, and long-term, all three, which is great. That's what we're supposed to have in a logic model. So I liked how she grouped those together, moved these over in their boxes or short term. Um, she highlights that the leaders learn skills needed for effective leadership of 4-H clubs and club level project activities. I think that's a good short term goal. I guess one of the questions I would have is, how do you measure that? Maybe that would be a little more difficult to measure. She came over to medium term and talked about increased number of V and P leaders in shared club leadership roles, and then brought that down to more effective management of 4-H clubs. So increasing the number, that is a very measurable goal. They could say we did increase the number. What I'd like to see in the logic model is a goal of maybe how much she can increase that by. What is the goal? Is it increased by 10%, 20%? Those type of things I think would make this maybe a little more effective to have something maybe more measurable, more tangible there. And then again, she has her long-term goals, increase stability and retention of 4-H clubs. Again, I'd like to see, well, how much? You could just say, well, we increased it, and that's great to show that it increased, and I guess that can be a goal in and of itself, but it's nice to have that more measurable, that we'd like to increase it by 10% or something. But as long as they can show an increase, I think that's a good long-term goal to continue with that and keep that retention up. Increased numbers and retention of 4-H club members, again, she has that listed. And then another long-term goal, youth apply leadership skills to other settings. So I did like that, and that was through youth officers leading effective club meetings, and then the youth learn skills needed to become effective youth leaders. So again, I thought that was great, that she has those short-term, the medium, and then the long-term goals. And I think these are really good goals for strengthening the 4-H club leadership, which is what she's going for. These are the youth officers and leaders in the 4-H club. So then down below, she listed her assumptions, and they're very small, kind of difficult to read. But the community club model is an effective way to facilitate positive youth development. Those are some assumptions she made. If participants are involved in effective community clubs, they'll become effective citizens, and then more effective leadership leads to better management of clubs and meetings that will increase numbers of members and more member involvement. So these are the assumptions, and that's why she's listed her outcomes and as goals, and then also her outputs of why they're doing what they're doing. Those assumptions are great. She also listed external factors social economic factors affecting youth and families, competition for funds, and time. So that was the only external factor she listed. I think it would have been nice to maybe see some other external factors and see if there's anything other than social and economic factors affecting youth. She could have been maybe more specific and highlighted those and maybe spelled those out a little more. So that's my evaluation for this, and let me know your thoughts.